Welcome to my Chinese horror movie reviews. In this special review format, we'll not only check out the movie, but we will explain the ending, because if you know anything about Chinese horror movies, then you know they aren't very conventional. In this episode, we're going to look at a movie that has one of the most awesome titles ever. Hi, I'm the Artie Dance from Asian Film Fans, and welcome to this review of Admission by Guts. And there's two ways you can look at this title. Guts as in courage, meaning it's brave of you to enter the cinema to watch it, or guts as in blood and gore, meaning it'll cost you your life to watch this film. And either one of those is awesome. Let's see what this one's about. Nine movie lovers receive a mysterious phone call advising them of a competition they've won. The prize is a ticket to an exclusive movie screening. These 9 random people are made up of a wide variety of characters. There is the blind woman and her husband who narrates everything for her. There is a psychic and his friend who spend their time grifting people, although his ability is fairly legit. There's a snack-loving chubby woman, a beautiful woman who can't get over her boyfriend, a playboy who thinks he's hot stuff, and the two most interesting characters. One is a businessman who's looking for someone with the codename Monkey King, and the other is a bootlegger who's bought a video camera to the cinema to make illegal copies of the movie they're about to watch. The movie they're set to watch seems to be a very boring arty-farty silent film, but they notice the film seems to be set in the exact same cinema they're currently watching the film in. As the movie progresses, they start to notice that things that are happening to them are being shown on the big screen, and slowly but surely, each member of the audience ends up dead, either at the hands of each other or a female ghost that is stalking them as they watch. Now we're going to play a game. I'm going to give you 3 options and you're going to guess how this movie is explained. Your options are: one of the audience members is a demented killer wearing a mask. This movie is a revenge story for a past incident. It's a story of mental illness in one or more of the characters. The answer will be revealed in the explanation section. Chinese cinema of all genres tend to do this. That is, they tend to make lots of films at around the same time with similar themes. This movie, set in a cinema, shares an obvious setting with the Haunted Cinema series, and in fact, the proper Chinese title for this movie is horror cinema. That's about where the similarities end though. This movie is a little slow to begin with, the tension and story taking a while to really kick in, before then really stepping it up another gear at the end of the film. If you like these kind of slow-burning, tension-building horror thrillers, then what's on offer here might be enough to keep your attention, especially as you try and figure out what the significance of everything is. The setting of the movie is a real highlight. The rundown, decrepit cinema complex really adds to the atmosphere of the film. Dirty walls, dingy-looking bathrooms, and an old-fashioned seat layout are complemented by posters for movies that are decades old. I found it quite hilarious that one of the characters is so brazen to attempt to bootleg the movie in front of complete strangers. He sets up his camera, which he doesn't even attempt to hide, and just records the screen. I was never under the impression that people were so obvious when they did this. Considering some of the shitty bootlegged Insider Cinema copies I've seen, none of them have ever been so brazenly recorded. And it's quite funny how he walks in front of his own camera several times while he's recording the screen. There are a few genuine WTF moments in the film that are worth mentioning, especially if you watch this before knowing anything about it. And it all revolves around the movie the cast is there to watch. There's no sound. It's a silent movie, which means all character dialogue is delivered via on-screen text cards. But it's the moments of when things start happening on screen that reflect what's happening in the movie that will genuinely pique your interest and curiosity. Before we move on, let's learn some more Chinese. Kongbu Pian. This means horror film. About time we learnt that one. Kongbu Pian. But in the end, whatever happens on screen is pretty much all for naught. It's an interesting element, but it goes nowhere. And just to mention this, because it was something that annoyed me a little bit, but there is a lot of dust and scratches on the movie they're watching. I know this is a small thing, but if there was so much damage to the negative, the rest of the image wouldn't be so clear or stable. It would be wiggling around, especially considering it's being projected via a film source, and I'm guessing the gating of the projector would be long past due for maintenance. With that out of the way, possibly the only other big negative is the lack of focus on one particular character, the chubby girl. She's briefly introduced alongside everyone else at the beginning, and then shown briefly again towards the end. If there was no intention to focus on her character at all, then what was the point of her being in the film? This is the spoiler section, so if you ever plan on watching this film, maybe skip this bit. Back to the 3 choices I gave you earlier in the video. If you guessed the movie is a revenge story for a past incident, then you'd be correct. Well done. At about the 1 hour mark into the film is where the ending starts to be explained to the audience. It's when the playboy tries to hit on the chubby girl, and she reminds him that it's something that he did to her a few years prior in the same scenario. Because you see, these 9 people know each other, well at least they had met each other previously. It was years before in another cinema. The 9 of them, plus another woman, were watching a film when a fire broke out in the cinema. In their panic, they all rushed to get out, but the other woman who was there got caught under some rubble, unable to move. No one helped her, and she burnt to death. Her brother is the person who organised this horror night. He has set up this whole scenario for revenge, even donning a ghost costume a few times during the movie to scare a few of them. In general Chinese horror movie terms, it's actually not a bad ending. If you've watched my other Chinese horror movie reviews, you might remember that I recently looked at Haunted Cinema 2. So which of these 2 movies set in a cinema is better? Well, I think the winner is this film. In general horror movie terms, on a scale of 1 to 5, this movie clearly gets a 1. Because while it's an interesting film, I didn't feel the horror elements were enough to score higher. With my patent pending ghost rating, which stands for great horror or stupid trash, this movie gets 4 ghosts. It's an above average Chinese horror thriller, and it might be worth your time to check it out. To throw a spanner in the works of cinema themed movies, I've still yet to create my video review of the original Haunted Cinema movie. That'll be coming soon, and I wonder if it's better than this. I hope you enjoyed this look at Admission by Guts. This is a regular video series, so please like it if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you for watching.